Press release. The Cambodian Human Rights Committee, CHRC, wishes to inform the public that Thailand has continued to illegally carry out military attacks, aggressively demolish civilian homes and private property, and forcibly dismantle civil and cultural infrastructure, despite the ceasefire agreement signed at the third special meeting of the General Border Committee on 27 December 2025. Thai soldiers have invaded civilian homes to pillage and confiscate private property such as motorcycles, tractors, and other materials in areas situated within Cambodia's sovereignty and territorial integrity, including in Prey Chan, Juk Jae, and Boyong Trakuan villages in Bantay Minji province, as well as in other areas of Preah Vihear, Odarminji, and Pursat provinces. This upsurge in violence has caused thousands of Cambodian families to be forcibly displaced, deprived of their land, rendered homeless, and subjected to forced evictions, in complete contradiction to international declarations and obligations concerning the right to adequate housing and the right to private or owned property. The CHRC underscores that the illegal occupation by Thai armed forces, followed by the destruction of Cambodian civilian homes and private properties, thereby preventing Cambodian civilians from safely returning to their habitual residences, constitutes forced evictions and unjust deprivation of housing and land rights, which are strictly prohibited under the International Covenant on Economic, Social, and Cultural Rights, Article 11.1. The International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, Article 17. The Hague Convention, 1907, Articles 46 and 47, the Geneva Convention, Article 33, and the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, Article 17. These international legal instruments clearly affirm that every individual has the right to adequate housing and is protected from interference with their housing, confiscation, or seizure of private property by any individual or group. Through the guidance and the utmost attention of Samdech Mohaborvor Tipday Hun Manet, Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Cambodia, the CHRC officially submitted an urgent appeal to His Excellency Mr. Volker Turk, High Commissioner of the Office of the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights, OHCHR, and Mr. Balakrishnan Rajagopal, United Nations Special Rapporteur on the Right to Adequate Housing, on the 5th of January, 2026. In this urgent appeal, the CHRC called upon the United Nations human rights mechanisms to 1. Examine and address the impact of Thailand's violations and demolitions on the right to adequate housing and right to own property in Cambodia. 2. Engage with relevant UN mechanisms and states to seek immediate cessation of forced evictions, destruction of homes, and denial of return. 3. Call upon Thailand to withdraw its forces from Cambodian territory, halt all demolition of civilian housing, and ensure a safe and dignified return of displaced Cambodian civilians. 4. Highlight this situation in your communications and reports as a serious case of conflict-related housing rights violations involving forced displacement, land dispossession, and homelessness. 5. Urge Thailand to provide reparations, including compensation and guarantees of non-repetition, for the affected Cambodian victims. The CHRC reiterates that the right to adequate housing is a fundamental human right, not a military target. The destruction of civilian homes and forced evictions constitute serious human rights violations that require timely and effective responses from the international community. The absence and delays of timely and effective international intervention regarding Thailand's acts of aggression are exacerbating humanitarian suffering and undermining confidence in international law. Amid escalating violence, silence is not neutrality, but rather an enabling factor of impunity and double standards, thereby eroding the meaning of international law and threatening international peace, security, and order. The CHRC urgently calls on the international community to take immediate, firm, and effective measures to protect the lives and dignity of Cambodian civilians, halt acts of aggression from Thai armed forces, and ensure accountability under international law. Phnom Penh, January 5, 2026.